Okay, so I'm really going to stop talking about this. I did see this interview a couple days ago, and let's just get right into it.
I mean, I think that's a fight with Golovkin that should have happened before the Kovalev fight. The fight was, talked about. Our teams had some correspondence, and it just didn't work out, man. And I'm not here to, expose them or throw them under the bus or nothing like that. But I'm gonna be honest with the fans because it's a lot of confusion out there. They didn't want the fight. So when they didn't want the fight, most people would have took that email that I have and put it on, put it online and put them on blast.
Put on blast? That makes no sense. By giving interview after interview, exactly like this one, saying what you're saying about Triple G, and then saying if you release the email, you'll put them on blast. Actually releasing the email would convince a lot of the skeptics about the validity of the offer.
Because they were saying the opposite of what that email said. They flipped it and made it seem like we were ducking and dodging when if you read the email, it was clear. We gave them a 50-50 split so there wouldn't be any arguing. Let's say, look, let's get it on. Each fighter gets a tune-up fight, similar to what me and Kovalev did, and then let's do something right after. And this was probably sometime I think in early 2016, and they were talking, him unifying the titles and maybe in 2018. So that just wasn't something we were willing to do. So that's right after we got off the phone with them.
Now, was it an email or was it a phone call? You just said you got off the phone with them. However, a couple of seconds ago, you said there was an email offer.
Shortly after that, I made the decision to move up and fight Kovalev. And personally, I don't see that fight happening because he's at middleweight, I'm at light heavyweight. But if he wants to come up and take on that kind of challenge, man, I think it'd be a tremendous fight that the fans will want to see.
Okay, so man, this guy continues to use Triple G's name before the fight, and apparently now with his low pay-per-view numbers, he's trying to build himself back up off of Triple G's name. Like I said, I heard this interview a couple days ago, and it really pissed me off. However, I have seen through other interviews and even comments left on this channel that there are still some very true Ward fans, which I think is cool. I mean, you have to pick a team and ride with that team. However, I do wonder if Ward would have lost if these people would still be diehard Ward fans. But nonetheless, I have to appreciate their continued support for this guy. So, okay, I have watched Kovalev Ward this fight multiple times, and I just cannot see how Ward possibly won. I mean, even Kovalev's jab looked as though it should have been counted as a significant strike. It was completely moving Ward's whole body. He had to completely reset. Now, I know typically how it works is when, even myself, when you have a favorite, you tend to just focus on that guy and you don't actually look or concentrate on the opponent. You just look for positive things the guy that you like, the favorite, is doing. So anyways, I tried to look at this objectively, and I still honestly cannot see how people think Ward won. I know, like I said, the judges, maybe they were pro-Ward going into it and they fell into that trap of just watching Ward and what Ward was doing. But this is why I really like post-fight breakdowns or talking about strategy or strategy videos. I know there isn't many of them out there on YouTube anyway. At least I can't seem to find them. I mean, one guy who has or used to have some amazing video footage was the guy who I always respected, but I thought of him as, a dirty fighter. Anyways, I always respect him though, and that's B-Hop, Bernard Hopkins. I mean, this was years ago before B-Hop was, now I kind of think of him as an asshole, but I mean, that's his job. Now he's a promoter, so he's going to be completely biased. That is his job, to promote his fighters, not honestly analyze, the other fighters or the fighters that are not signed to Golden Boy. So he doesn't give these honest evaluations and breakdowns like he used to. And, now B-Hop, to me, he just says a lot of stupid shit. But anyways, I remember watching him, like his videos like 5 to 10 years ago, and they were fantastic. I mean, he would talk about these strategies and techniques, setting traps, and to me it was fascinating. I mean, there would be like 10 little battles or little fights, little details that he would go over just to set up one clean shot or one clean punch. I mean, he would talk about how to properly position your feet or move your shoulders to a certain angle that would completely immobilize your opponent. Now, obviously, when you have an intelligent opponent, this isn't always going to work. But anyways, shout out to B-Hop, man. He used to make some, at least I saw a couple really good videos. I don't know if they're still out there. I think I might check now that I mentioned them. But anyways, my point being, there's a lot that goes into these fights. I don't see how people saw that Ward won the fight. So anyway, listening to Ward's interviews, it sounds like he felt that he was not at his best. Kovalev was at his best. Ward felt that he himself was not. And this is according to Ward's own testimony. But my thoughts are that not only did Kovalev beat Ward, but I honestly think Triple G would completely embarrass Ward. Before Kovalev Ward, I was kind of sold on Ward, man. I thought he was an elite fighter. But after seeing Ward's last 3 or 4 fights, man, and I'm not being a hater, just my observation, I don't think of him as an elite fighter, man. Now, as for Triple G, I know people are saying that he was exposed by Brook, he got touched up. But you have to take into account, man, Triple G has completely ran over well over 20 opponents. I mean, it's got to be so difficult to continuously get up for these fights when they're not even providing the slightest bit of competition. Now, if he took on the much bigger Ward, I think Triple G would come in probably like we've never seen him. I mean, obviously Ward has length, reach, weight, height, whatever you want to say. He's just a bigger guy. And I think if GGG came in 100% focused, man, I think he would just run right through Ward. I'm positive GGG hits harder than Ward. Obviously, he's faster than Ward. I think he's equally as intelligent after watching these last couple fights. I mean, just be honest, 2 of the last 3 of Ward's fights, he got hit a lot, man. Barrera hit him a lot. And Kovalev, I mean, Kovalev knocked him down. He hit him a lot, man. So I do hope this Triple G fight does happen. Like I said, I think GGG is just a much stronger puncher, much faster, much more talented. And I see with these low pay-per-view numbers, man, 160, Ward needs to use Triple G's name to try and build himself up. But anyways, I hope this is my last Ward video. I'm sure you guys are sick of him, or at least for some time. Like I said, I truly used to respect Ward. I thought he was a respectable guy, but man, I was completely wrong. I mean, from the beginning, I mean, he didn't show up at his own press conference. I mean, to his unwillingness to shake Kovalev's hand, to now wanting to negotiate the rematch from a, as he says, a position of strength, aka uneven playing field. I mean, how can you respect that? I mean, think of Tim Bradley. When Tim won but truly lost to Pacquiao, I mean, Tim wanted to get back in there right away. It was Pacquiao who said, man, just watch the fight and you'll see who won. Pacquiao didn't really want to rematch him because he felt he was levels above Bradley, which he proved he was in the second and third fight. And you would think Ward, with all this controversy, would want to jump right back in there. Plus, he's contractually obligated. But anyways, enough of this negativity. Hopefully this is my last last time I speak about Ward for a while. We now have to look forward to Leo Santa Cruz, Frampton, and of course, Garcia, Thurman. Anyways, you guys have a great day. Take care.
Fight!